Hi, I'm Ray Madursky, and today I'm going to show you the technique for making a dough. The dough that we're going to make today is actually a French dough. It's a pâte foncier, which means it's used for filling either a tart shell or for making miniature pastry shells. You can use this dough to make an American-style pie, but later in the series I will actually be reviewing the technique for making and giving a recipe for an American-style pie dough. In the dough that we're making today, we blend flours and we always weigh. The most important thing for consistent baking is to get a scale and to use it, because that's how you get your consistency in measurement. So our flour is going to be a combination of all-purpose flour and cake flour to kind of imitate the European-style pastry flour that exists. And then we're going to use butter for the fat. Instead of water, we'll be using eggs. We use 1 egg and 1 egg yolk in this particular recipe, and then a pinch of salt. It's actually a half teaspoon of salt. So let's get started. Okay, so you can see that I've cut the butter into pretty big chunks. We're using 8 ounces of cold butter, 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. And then we're going to use 11 ounces of flour, half of which, 5.5 ounces, is all-purpose flour and 5.5 ounces is cake flour. Then we're going to use 4 ounces of powdered sugar. Okay, so the first thing we do is put the weighed flour onto our work surface, and we add to that the weighed powdered sugar, and then on top of those ingredients we'll add a half teaspoon of salt. Just regular table salt is what I use. Now what we're going to do is just use a pastry scraper and blend all of these ingredients together. You don't have to do anything special, just get them approximately mixed, okay? Okay, looks good. Now what we're going to do is press the butter, the fat component of our dough, into the flour. Now to do this, what we want to do is use fingertips only and work quickly. So we're actually going to press the flour, and we're going to have a mixture that's going to resemble some flour with probably lentils or dried peas in it. And you want to go through, work quickly, using only your fingertips, because we don't want the butter to melt at this point. Go through and incorporate all of the butter. You can toss everything around a bit, it makes it a little bit easier. The mixture at this point actually looks a little bit like a crumb, a streusel topping. Okay, so gather everything together. And the next thing we're going to do is make a well. When you make pasta, even different yeast doughs, especially bread doughs, this is what you do. I just got my hand in there. We made the well. We're going to add the first whole egg, and then we're going to add the egg yolk. Just using your fingers, blend that, and then if you want, it's really a good idea to add about a tablespoon of vinegar. The vinegar is an acid, and acids help to tenderize the final dough. You can use a cider vinegar or just plain white vinegar. Again, incorporate the vinegar. Now start bringing the flour, sugar, and butter mixture into the eggs and vinegar. And I'm just using my fingertips to do this. We don't want to knead the dough because kneading the dough will activate the gluten and make a tough final product. What we want to do is just get everything incorporated into what will become the mass of our dough. Okay, when the dough looks about like this, we're going to bring it all together. Use your scraper, clean off your fingers a bit, and then gather the dough in front of you and bring it into an approximate log kind of a shape. It's not fully incorporated, but the final incorporation of all the components is what we're going to do now. We're going to use the heels of our hands to press into the dough and smear it on the work surface. The French call this frissage, and it's the final blending of the butter into what will be our dough. So we did it once, and we'll do it a second time. Then we'll be ready to refrigerate the dough for at least 2 hours. Best if you can do it overnight, but it needs at least 2 hours to rest. And we're going to do a second frissage, final blending here. We're going to take again and use the heel of the hand, and we're going to smear the dough right on the work surface. And there we have it. Our dough is ready. Now we can wrap it in either wax paper or parchment paper, which is not the best, but plastic wrap is actually what we should be using, and give it that little bit of rest time in the cold. This again allows the gluten to relax so that the dough won't fight with you as you begin to roll it and work it into your tart shell or whatever it is you're deciding you're going to make. Okay, so what I've done here is divided the dough into two pieces and have wrapped them in plastic wrap. Now we'll give them at least a 2-hour rest in the cold. Okay, thank you.